So it's these chains. So as I'm growing, I am feeling insecure. I'm feeling like I'm not good enough. I'm feeling like I gotta people please and I need the validation of people. I don't feel lovable. I don't feel beautiful. I don't feel talented. I just don't feel none of it. And in this process, now I grew up in the church. I was very religious. I could do all the stuff. I could say all the stuff. But when it came to relationship with God, I did not have it. I always desired it. I always felt like I was supposed to be in relationship with Jesus. I felt like he and I, like, there was something we were supposed to be doing together in this world. But there was this barrier. I didn't trust him. God, and let me be honest, like when it came to God as Jesus, I felt better about him. But when it came to God the Father, I was like, I didn't trust him. I didn't feel safe with him. I felt like he was a punisher. I felt like he was, like he didn't love me, like I wasn't enough for him. I felt like I had disappointed him and that he was just punishing me, that he didn't really care about me. And so through the years, I would talk about God. I talk to you about God and pray. Now, and here's another thing: when it came to other people, I knew without a shadow of a doubt, and I believed that God loved them and that He would come through for them. When I would pray, things would happen. It's going to happen. If I believed God was going to do that, it would happen. But when it came to me, it was different. It was like, they're different. I know you love them. So I would go through the motions. But all that time, I had true beef with God. I didn't realize how much until later down the road. And this caused me to cope in ways that were unhealthy. Very early on, I learned to dissociate. So something can happen. And if my brain is like, no, I don't want to deal with that, I don't even know how. I know it's scientific, all that, but I can completely forget it as if it never happened. You can ask me about it, and I don't, nothing. I learned to fantasize. I learned to exaggerate and lie. I learned to eat because when you're young, you don't have many outlets. Baby, I found every outlet I could because I was struggling as a child. And I don't, I love my parents, they're great, but I don't think them or anybody else really knew how to um, cultivate me. I was very different. I still am very different. I'm very peculiar, very odd sometimes, most of the time. Um, I'm just not like most people. I was not like most children. And so, yeah, food, even masturbation as a young one, um, eventually alcohol, sex, all the stuff. Like whatever I could hold on to that I could get lost in, that's what I would do. And I found myself also very early. I told you, Satan was after my mind and my identity. So I'm walking around with this broken identity and this jacked up mind. And I can actually remember, even as a little girl, telling myself something's wrong with me. And those were words someone actually told me on a couple occasions. And I would stand in the mirror and I would say, you're crazy. Something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. And I mean, I would have night terrors to the point where for many, many years, I would not sleep. I would do whatever I could to stay up late at night. I ain't like thunderstorms. I think I was 20 or 30 something before I could sleep through a thunderstorm. Um, Struggled with depression very early on. The first time that I tried to commit suicide, I was in elementary. The first time I told somebody, I believe I was in sixth or seventh grade. And I told someone in confidence. They told their parent. Well, their parent called my parent. My parent, you know how when your parents mad, like you could feel it coming? And I could feel that they were angry. And that's when I was like, I'm gonna have to lie because I'm about to get in trouble for saying this. And so when they asked me, did you tell such and such that you wanted to commit suicide? No, I was just joking. So then they give me the phone. The other person's parent gets on the phone and chews me out and tells me how wrong I am for putting their daughter through what I put them through. I never told anybody again, and I struggled with suicidal thoughts until my 30s. Let me not say that. I did end up telling a best friend later down the line. But I learned that you don't tell people when you're having mental struggles. You don't tell people when you're suicidal. Um, you don't tell people when you're hurting because it causes problems. And so that's how I went through life. And it ended up, my life was a hot mess. It was a hot freaking mess. I knew how to make things look good. But in the background, I was dealing with, baby, being in everybody bed but my own. I was dealing with being in abusive relationships, whether they were physical, sexual, mental, emotional, of some sort. I was heavy in alcohol addiction. I was heavy in food addiction. It took longer for anyone to even realize that because I had a high metabolism. So once that, I wasn't doing everything I was doing, it was like, psh. And yeah, I want to stay focused. So, it's just years and years. And um, so all of this is building up, and all of these are like chains that have created this weighted blanket over me. And I mean, blankets of suicide and depression and anxiety and worry and just all of this. And it's like I could see myself growing up, but it's like I'm cowering over and the blanket is too heavy. And now I'm even more bitter and angry at God. I hate him because I am praying and praying for him to give me relief. I don't even care about the other stuff. I don't care about the money. I don't care about none of this other stuff. I need you to free me in my mind. I need you to free me of all this shame and guilt. I need you to free me of the things that I believe about myself. And it seemed like you don't want to help me. And so that was for many years. And I also found myself in a cycle. I would be doing really well, get on my feet, and then I would self sabotage. I didn't realize this until recently. I would self sabotage, and it would be a cycle, just this never ending cycle. And it became too much. Like when I tell you, most days of my life I have cried. At some point, I'm crying. I just did not feel the love of God, and I just kept doing things um, that validated what people would say about me and what Satan said about me.